Attention please. This upload is only for educational purpose. No intention to infringe copyrights. Learning English with subtitles. GPITRAL. GPITRAL. Definitely a must-see. Follow us.
Animal House, following the work of the SPCA, the Society for the Prevention of Cruelty to Animals, based in New Zealand. Narrated by Jason Hoyt. Audio described by Therese Birch. A child cuddles a black kitten, a sheep with a lamb, an inspector in an SPCA van. An inspector holds up a tiny black kitten. Programme title, Animal House.
Inspector Vicky Border is on her way to a property in East Auckland, which she's had reason to visit before.
I'm doing a recheck at this property. I visited it at the beginning of the week to find a adult Cocker Spaniel with severely infected ears and huge mats. So I instructed the owner that veterinary treatment must be sought, otherwise I'll have to uplift the dog.
The owner doesn't appear to be home, but Vicky's surprised to hear barking from inside the house, as she's previously been told by the owner that he's not allowed to have dogs inside.
Cocky! Up. Yeah, he's in there. But I think he's locked in the other room, so I might just climb around in and see if I can look in the window.
Deciding to check the dog out, Vicky goes round to the back of the house.
Oh, that's not Cocky.
Instead of the Cocker Spaniel, she finds a German Shepherd that gives her cause for concern.
What's wrong with you? This dog's obviously living in this room. Stinks. There is a bucket, but there's no water in it. But still no Cocker Spaniel. He told me the reason he had to keep the Cocker Spaniel outside was because he wasn't allowed dogs inside. But that German Shepherd looks like it's been in that room for a while. We need to have a chat with him about the living conditions of both dogs, actually.
Because Vicky's had dealings with the owner before, she's able to ring him straight away about the German Shepherd and to locate the whereabouts of the Cocker Spaniel.
The dog's at the vet. Has been there most of the day because the doctor said that the ears were very badly infected, so it's going to take a while to clean them up and also to clip off those huge mats on his ears.
Vicky will return to check that both dogs and their living conditions have improved. Meanwhile, back at base, the SPCA is playing host to an unusual guest.
This rooster's coming to us today. We tend to get in roosters quite often, and they're pretty hard for us to place because obviously you're not allowed to have roosters in town, and most people on rural properties already have a rooster. So unfortunately, a lot of them we don't find homes for. This guy, because he's a bit unusual looking, his coat type is actually called frizzle because the feathers actually grow in the opposite direction to normal. So he's been bred especially to look that unusual. Hopefully the fact that he looks a bit different and he's only quite small might be in his favour, and we might actually be able to find a home for him as opposed to him being sort of common run-of-the-mill roosters that we get through.
The frizzled rooster fluffs up his feathers for a photo, which will go on the SPCA Pet Find website. In South Auckland, Inspector Kevin Plowright is following up a report of a stray dog.
I've had a call about a skinny dog in the area. It's turned out to be a bitch that's had pups. She's just wandering generally in the area. She's found a house to have pups underneath. We need to get the pups out from under there. The difficult part is there's only about so much head height under there, and the pups are at the opposite end to where the door is. So I've got to clamber under there and try and get these pups out.
Kevin crawls underneath the house.
It's all quiet under here, just having a look around to see if there's any pups hidden anywhere. They wouldn't have been socialised at all, so they're not going to be too keen on me finding them. It's getting very narrow under here. Knew I should have started that diet.
An hour later and Kevin still hasn't found any sign of them.
They're either very well hidden or they're gone from under here.
After a thorough search, no mum and no puppies, so Kevin calls it a day.
Well, that was easy.
But that wasn't the end of it. The neighbours discovered they had some house guests.
After all that, the mum decided she was sick of that house under there. I can see why. I wasn't too happy with it either. And she moved it under this house here. And the people from here, the kids went under and brought the pups out this morning. We can sort out mum. She's a real little sweetheart mum, but she's got no fixed abode. I'll take them back to the SPCA and we can make sure the pups are all good. Make sure the mum can feed up the pups for the duration that they need mum feeding them. And then we can look at finding some homes for them and mum.
It was lucky the pups were still with their mother. If they'd been found on their own at this age, they would have had no chance of survival. Abandoned animals like this often carry infections, so Kevin gives them a quick once-over.
A couple of little chubbies, got a big time flea problem going on.
It looks as though all is well, but Kevin will take the bitch and her two pups back to the SPCA for a thorough vet check. Inspector Vicky Border has returned to the property housing a Cocker Spaniel in need of attention. She's also concerned about the German Shepherd she saw locked in a very small room. This time the owner is at home.
How did it go? Yeah. Hey.
Cut to here.
Excellent.
Yep. I think that's all right now.
And you medicating the ears?
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Yep, sure.
This dog's ear, you can see where it's been cut. They were huge mats. But you're looking good now.
Although the Spaniel's ears are looking better, Vicky's still not happy with his living conditions.
Doggy's got no water.
Oh, yeah, I think just
Yeah.
dropped out.
And also, when was the last time you cleaned?
Two months ago.
Okay, you need to do it more often. All right, needs Genola. Obviously, take dog out first. Okay, because it's very smelly. It's not nice. All right. Okay, so we need to get some water. The other day when I was here, I had a look around and you got another dog inside. Okay? Why have you got him inside?
They don't like to go out.
Because I would really like to see that dog.
It's not easy to control.
Well, I can hold him on the lead if you bring him out to me.
Reluctantly, the owner agrees to bring the German Shepherd out.
No. How old is he?
Oh, I think it's 11. 10 or 11.
He's got badly infected ears as well. That's why he's doing that. He needs a vet check, not just his ears. Do you ever brush him?
Oh, yeah.
A dog with a coat like that needs to be groomed a lot. Do you walk him?
Sure.
When he's in the room, does he have food and water?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And do you clean the room out? 'Cause
Oh, yep, sometimes.
it looked a bit grotty in there the other day when I looked through the window.
Vicky persuades the owner both dogs need a vet check, and they agree on a time for this to happen.
And meet you there, 6:30.
Yeah.
In the meantime, she gives him a few pamphlets to read on how to properly care for his animals.
Yeah, thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is frustrating. All I can do is try and educate him. I gave him a couple of pamphlets to read, and I hope he does read them, and he'll understand a little bit more about exercise and even sunlight, how important that is for the animal. It's just education.
End of part 1.